One of the biggest challenges with live service games, especially in the gacha world, is how often they forget about characters who help build their stories early on. I'm sure a few titles come to mind for you already. For me, it's games like Withering Waves and Nikke. Amazing worlds, but they have this huge problem where a character shows up, gets 5 minutes of screen time, and then vanishes into the void, never to be seen from again. But at the same time, I get it. These are live service games meant to last for years. So how do you keep the old characters relevant while still bringing in new ones? How do you balance a long-term storytelling with the constant demand for fresh new content? So that brings us to the question, does Duet Night Abyss manage to fix this issue? Or will it fall into the same trap? I'm just gonna go ahead and throw out the major spoiler warning now, because I've completed all the main story quests, and this story hits the feels pretty early on. One of my biggest pet peeves in gacha games is how they forget about older characters. So, is this their solution? Just kill them off so they don't have to write about them again? I've talked about this with friends before. Gacha games used to never kill off player units, but now, that's clearly changing. I'm going to drop a spoiler for Nikke and Withering Waves for my final thoughts, so if you stick around, I'd love to have the conversation with you. Duet Night Abyss launched the same week Nikke dropped their 3rd anniversary event, Goddess Fall, and seeing playable characters die hit like a ton of bricks. And in Withering Waves, for a split second, we thought Rover killed Frolova in 2.5, before learning through the podcast and her ability notes that she actually survived. Withering Waves is another game that's completely forgotten its 1.0 cast. We haven't seen those characters since leaving for Renesita, and Nikke is notorious for introducing characters who get 5 minutes of main story screen time before disappearing into events you may or may not even consider canon or relevant. The only gacha games that consistently keep their casts around are anime IPs, where the characters just get new skins. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is killing playable characters the easiest solution to avoid forgetting them? How would you approach keeping a fresh game without abandoning the older cast? Let me know in the comments.